Hey guys, welcome to part 7 of the chat app Reddit clone tutorial on Turbo 360. In the last part we set up the UI for the individual rooms on the which are basically Reddit subs on the UI, and then we're going to in this section we're going to set up a separate UI for the individual posts, whereby a user can click on a post, read it, and then submit a reply if that's what they want to do. So here I'm going to run the dev server just to make sure that everything still works. Okay, so here's where we left off last time. I'm still logged in, which is good. Notice how this says room, by the way. It really should say topic, because I don't know if you recall at the end of the last video, we reversed it, topic and room, but I forgot to do that on the home page. So let's just take care of that right now real quick, because that should be a pretty easy adjustment. So here is the index mustache, the home page. So just switch them. And that's what it should have been. Okay, good. Now, a couple other things. If I click on this, I see the rooms that I've subscribed to. And if I click on one, it'll go to that room, right? That's what we set up last time. However, these over here are also the rooms. So these also should be clickable, which it looks like they are, but they should go to the actual room. They should actually click to that. So if I go to the home page again, this link right here, this where it says room.category, that is this right here. So this should be linked to room dot, we called it the slug, so we should try that, and let's see if that works. So if I click on this now, it'll go to that room, but I must have forgotten the actual path. So here it is /room and then the slug. So let's make that adjustment real quick. That should be right here, like that. And that should resolve that problem. So if I click on this now, here, it'll go to that room. And then these are all the posts in that room. If I go back to the home page, I click a different one. These are all the posts in this room. This should actually just go to the home page, just hyperlink right here. Let's take care of that real quick. So that is in the top bar. Nope, that is in the sidebar, excuse me. And this right here is the logo. That is this right here, hyperlink. And that should just go to the home page. So let's just go ahead and make sure that that works. And so now this goes back to the home page. Makes navigation a little bit easier. Everything's a little bit more consistent. I'm going to get rid of this sidebar drop down because we're not using it right now. So let's just get rid of it. Okay, cool. And then let's go with that for now. So these are connected. And don't forget, we have another page for this specific room posts. That's right here, room.mustache. We should do the same adjustment. So here, where it says room.category, we should do the same thing. We should do a hyperlink to room, and then the slug. So when I click on a room now, all of these will basically hyperlink to itself. So really, we could have also just done a hashtag as well, because these are just hyperlinking to the same page. So it's all kind of, however you want to handle that, it should be fine. All right, cool. So now we got that working. I'm going to add a post here, and it should pop up on top here. Let's just confirm that real quick. Rust. And there it is. Okay, so that worked. Now really what should happen though is this right here should navigate to another page that shows the post, because notice how these post texts, or I should say topic descriptions, aren't showing up anywhere. So we want to click on that. Kind of like if you just go to Reddit, you'll see what I mean. So here on Reddit, if I click on, let's say, our programming. Hey, Rust, look at that. Funny coincidence. So these would be considered topics in our resource terminology, right? And then if I click on, well, these are links, but same idea. I didn't really pick a good example, so why don't we try JavaScript? So here would be an example of a topic in our project. If I click on one, it goes to a separate UI that shows the entire topic, sort of, the description, and then a series of responses, right, which are called replies in our terminology. So we want to set up a similar UI, right? So let's see. Let's go ahead and set that up. So when I click on this topic, it should do the same thing. So we want to create a separate template for topic, which we currently do not have. Let's go ahead and set that up. So let's go ahead and do here. Let's turn off the server and cd to the views and create a topic template. You probably saw that coming, right? So then here we have a new template called topic. For now, I'm going to copy and paste the room HTML into it because it's going to be pretty similar, not exactly the same, but pretty similar. If you click on a room, which we already are on, so over here it should say the actual topic on top, so it'll say Rust and then question mark, and then the full description text beneath it, and then the ability to submit a reply, and then all the replies, all the replies come beneath it. So that's the UI we want to set up. I'm going to go through the theme again. I don't remember if it's still on my desktop. Let me just double check. Okay, I apparently don't have it on my desktop, so if you don't have it either, you want to go to the tutorial section of my website, and we are currently doing the Reddit clone tutorial, so right here. And if you click on this, you can download the theme right here. So you can always get the theme from this page, and if you lose it, you can always just re-download it right here. So here it is. I'm gonna unzip that. Gonna open this up, and okay, so I'm gonna go on the theme originally, and then if you click on pages, and then let's see here, extra pages, and then search results. I think this will be the best UI for the replies, especially if you look at it from the standpoint of each one of these will be a reply. I think that makes the most sense. So let's take a look at this. So this would be extras, search results, HTML in the theme, right? So if we open the theme, or even just that one page is fine. So extra, search results, right? If we open that up in the code, we want to make sure there's no other additional like CSS that we're overlooking. So here is the CSS from that respective page. If we look at our code, the CSS is from the minified version, right? So we want to take a look at the gulp file to make sure we have those 4 CSS files in the gulp task. So we have bootstrap, icons, metis menu, and style. Bootstrap, icons, metis menu, style. Very good. Nothing missing there. So let's go all the way down to the bottom where there are the imports. And this looks like it's pretty much just the standard imports, right? So we have jQuery min, popper, bootstrap, metis menu, waves, and slim scroll, and then jQuery core and jQuery app. So everything is already properly imported from our original build task. So what we can do is just go on top here, and everywhere it says from wrapper, right? We can take the entire wrapper div from the theme, okay, and then just paste it into our topic. Okay, so if we get rid of all that, right, we just got rid of all the contents in the topic page. We can paste in the content from the theme, and hope that this renders. So now what we want to do next is set up a route on the back end to render this page, right? So that should be called topic, the topic, and then let's go with the let's actually take a look at the topic data type. So topic API topic. I'm sorry, reply? No, localhost API topic. So we have title, description, num replies, ID, timestamp. So right now our best bet is ID, but we really don't want to use any of those. We want to use a slug again. So what we want to do is actually go back. Well, for now I'm going to stick to the current task and set up an individual route just to get that done, make sure I don't forget. So I'm going to set up another route for a topic. And this is going to be topic, but we also want to use a slug to uniquely identify that topic. So what we're going to do next is set up a turbo fetch. Well, we're going to set up the config first, the config object. And I'm going to do turbo fetch topic slug, and then rec params slug. And then we will just populate the data. Let's see, what do we do on the error over here? We just rendered it. Okay. Topic, and then here we're going to do topics. If topics is an empty array, we just throw an alert, or I'm sorry, an error, excuse me. Topic not found. And then here we set the config, and we're going to give it the config topic key, which is going to be the first element of the array. And then we just render that in the page, which is pretty much what we're doing here. We did a little extra stuff here which we may do again. We probably will do again, but for now we're just going to render the topic and that's it. Now keep in mind, this is going to render an empty array every time because right now our topics don't have slugs on the back end. So what we want to do is head over to our back end. Chat app, data store, topics. Probably have about 10 topics right now. And none of these have slugs. And that's going to be our problem that we need to fix right now. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of these. So let's go through each one. Okay, now let's go back to the topic controller. And here we want to create a slug for each topic that comes in as well, right? So if we go to the room controller, I believe, we have that slugify function. I'm just going to copy and paste this for now. This is really not something we want to do a lot of, but this is just more of a convenience move. And then inside the post, notice how we create a slug right here using that slugify function. So we're going to just basically do the same thing in the post right here. Right, just create that slug in the slugify function, and then that should be it. Except keep in mind we don't slugify the category because topics don't have categories. They do have, I believe, a title. So if we do title, right? So that's what we want to slugify. So here we slugify the title, not the category. And that should resolve that problem. So now let's create another topic. So right here, when I reload after I relaunch the server, oh, I think I made a typo. Okay, let's see, 91. So, 91, so what did I forget? I forgot that guy. All right. Good. Okay, back in business. So now here is my programming languages room, which is empty. I just removed all the topics. So now I'm going to create another one. Is Java still worth learning? Does anyone use it? It seems like it's all JavaScript these days. Okay, so now I'll create that, and then here is the topic posted by the room, date, we'll fix that later, num replies. Okay, and then now when if I go back to the topic API, you'll see I now have a slug property right there, and that's what we're going for. That way we can use that to uniquely identify the topic itself. Because you might have two topics with the same title, like, I don't know, like JavaScript tutorial, and then there might be another one called JavaScript tutorial. So we want to slugify it for that reason by appending this little unique string identifier to guard against, to differentiate between topics with the same title. That's why we use a slug. We could also just use the raw ID, but that's usually not a good idea. You want to find some other means of identifying it. So that's that. That's taken care of. This is more of a deeper discussion, but you can also create an index by slug to optimize your fetches. That's not something we're going to do in this tutorial, but it's not something you should do, in a more production scale project. So because we do a lot of fetching by slug, so you want to create a slug index to optimize your queries. So just a little thing you want to keep in mind. So now here we have the slug request. So what you want to do inside the room template, room, is when you see the topic right here, title, excuse me, what we want to do is hyperlink that to the topic template using the slug category, I'm sorry, the slug attribute, right? And we want to do the same thing over on the index right here, same thing. So topic, okay, so let's test the index page. We only have one. If I hover over this, look at the lower left corner of my screen. Look at down here when I hover over it. You'll see that it hyperlinks to the title, but the slugified version of the title, which is exactly what we're going for. So let me just get rid of these, and then we can click on that, and here is the template we set up a few moments before that. So everything worked out pretty well. We're missing a few images and whatnot, but the actual hyperlinks worked. And look at the actual URL pattern, right? This is also a good idea for like SEO and stuff like that. You want to have your URL patterns as human readable strings. So another reason why you don't want to use the database identifier, there's just a whole number of reasons why you don't want to do that, and that's another one. So here we now have our template properly rendered for the individual topics. That's good. So now let's head over to the topic mustache file, and let's start adding some partials. So here we have the head tag. So let's get rid of this guy and use the same head tag. Okay, and then here, oh, excuse me, wrong one. Let's use the index one instead. So here, evidently, we left the head tag alone, so let's just leave that alone. And then we have the sidebar, which is right beneath the wrapper ID. So here, where it says sidebar, and then all of this should go. And then here we have top bar, meaning all of this should go. And this is good because it wipes out huge chunks of code that's just repeated code anyway. So now I can do this, and I see our usual, we'll fix that room stuff later, but we see our usual UI that we set up for our pages, but none of the state is maintained. Now keep in mind, I am currently logged in, right? If I go to another page, like the home page, for example, it shows my rooms and the fact that I'm currently logged in. So the topic template does not currently do that. Let's fix that right now. So that is going to be resolved in our index route. So here inside the room query, room page, we have a logged in string like that, which is initialized as false. We fetch the room, and then after the room fetch, we do a fetch for the user, right? So here we do, here's the topic request. Instead of the render, we should do a fetch for the user, right? And then here we just copy and paste. We grab the user, add it to the config, delete the logged in flag, and then we do a fetch for all the rooms. So we go back down here and we just grab the same completion block, and then we just do that over here. And it's the same thing. And that's for the topic template. So now that should handle our logged in situation. So let's go ahead and confirm that. So let's see if that works here. And it does. Good. So here, oh, wrong template, my mistake. So we did room, it should be topic, excuse me. All right, let's go ahead and make sure that that works. Okay, it's not working, so right. Yeah, excuse me, it should be right here, topic. That's where the final render takes place, so my apologies. All right, let's confirm that. Now we're back to where we were before, but we have the logged in state properly being rendered. We have our room showing up here. Everything is now showing up the way we expect it to, considering the fact that I'm logged in. So that is good. Just checking on time. So, all right. So we're good to go now. We can start setting up the UI now, right? We can start setting up the actual UI for this page. Now, I think I like this one better, actually. This one right here for the replies. Let's see how that looks on the actual template. I'm missing one piece of it, so let's take a look at it from the template, the original theme. Excuse me, not the template, the theme. So that's right here. When I click on this, yeah, actually this one looks better. So let's use this UI for the replies. So let's go ahead and set that up. So inside the topic template, right, we have a tab for all results and users, right? So let's find that. So here we have, let's see, all results and users, right? And here is our tab navigator. Now we don't really even need the tab, but let's go ahead and just use it anyway, because like, you know, why not? Because it's replies, and then let's get rid of the all results one. And notice how it says active right here. We're going to get rid of that. And that is inside the tab pane class. Okay, so we want to go down here and get rid of all that. And that gets rid of the all results tab, and then inside the tab pane class we want to assign the active class here. So it defaults this one to the active tab, and now we have our replies showing the UI that we want to show. Let's get rid of the search bar too. So let's get rid of that. Search, so that is going to be all of this stuff here. Certainly don't need this input. Okay, so we have that. Let's get rid of this header too. So cool. So this is going to be our reply UI. Above this, we're going to set up the actual topic, title, and description. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's going to be the title and description. So right here, the title, and then the description. So let's go ahead and figure out, let's see. Let's use this sort of UI for that. So inside the room template, not rooms, excuse me, room template. I'm going to set up another row with a column 12. So let's do that over here. Let's set up a separate row right here with a column of 12. Let's going to be its own row, so let's go ahead and do that, and then let's set up a card box with a recent activity header for now. It's only temporary. And then we will insert the title. Only the text, only the text area is what we need. So right here. Okay, great. So here is how you will be able to submit a reply. And right where it says recent activity, that will be the title of the topic. So let's go ahead and have that render instead. So instead of recent activity, if you recall, inside here we now have a topic key in the data that's being rendered on the page itself, right? So what you want to do is grab the topic and then render the title. There we go. And then don't forget as well, we have a description. So we want to render that as well. So we have topic, and I believe the key is description, but we're going to find out. Cool. And then here is where we can actually read the topic description, right? And let's see here. I'm going to change that button to submit reply. Okay. I'm not sure why there's so much padding down here. Let's take a look at this. Margin bottom 36. There's our culprit. So let's just dial that down to 0. Okay, and then instead of description, we're going to want type your reply here, and then topic reply. Okay. So we want to reassign the ID, right? Because it's applying to a different piece of data. So we want to be considerate of that. So now our UI is set up for reading the full topic as well as submitting a reply. I'm going to add a little bit of separation here, though. It's just a little bit tight. All right, it'll do for now, but you know, normally I would make a lot more tweaks. Okay, so looks good. Let's go with that for now. And then here's where all the replies are going to show up. So what we want to do now is create the mechanisms through which you can submit a reply. Now, if you've been watching all the videos prior to this, you can probably figure out where this is going, right? You're gonna type into the reply field. You're gonna send a post request via AJAX to our topic endpoint, and our topic endpoint should be set to go already based on these controllers. I'm sorry, our reply endpoint, right? And it'll create a reply, right? And then we can render that on the front end using more jQuery AJAX, jQuery AJAX. So let's see here. Since we've done some of this already, we can be a little bit proactive. And if we look at the topic controller, you can see that every topic that's created, the first thing that happens is there's a user fetch, right, which then populates the user. So we want to do the same thing here, right? So we want to do like that. Excuse me. So that when you create a reply, the first thing that happens, it'll fetch the user who's submitting the reply, populate the data, and then create the resource with the updated data. We're not going to use a slug in this one because there are not going to be any dedicated pages for only for replies. So we don't need a slug for that reason, so we can just ignore that. Yeah, and for now that should be good. All right, so let's try it out. So now what we want to do is head back to the topic template, right, and then go all the way to the bottom now. And here's where we do all that logic for submitting a reply and whatnot. Now we don't need the current room. However, let's have a current topic JSON right here, right? And then in the index mustache, right? If you look at the room page, we grab the room and then we pass it off as a current room property to the config so that it gets rendered client side as well, right? So what we want to do is employ the same technique to the topic. So here we want to grab the topic, right, and then just assign it like that. And then here we want to do the same thing. We want to current topic, and we don't need this page argument right now, attribute, excuse me. And then if this works, when I reload this and I look at the source code, the current topic is preloaded as JSON right here, which gives us access to all of its attributes on the client side as well, making the logic we're about to do here a lot easier, or a lot more convenient, I should say. So that's good, right? May as well just get it out of the way. And then now we can get back to the client side and start monkeying around with this jQuery stuff down here. So current topic, okay, let's get rid of all this stuff. Except this, we're going to use that. And let's console log that out. And then we want button submit reply, right? Because we're submitting a reply here. So let's go all the way back to the top and find the reply button, which is right here. And that should be this guy right here. And that's taken care of. So now what we can do is create a reply key, or variable, excuse me. And then a reply is going to have just a text key, and that's it. So we don't need a title, but we will use a text. And then let's go back to the reply text. And this is going to be the text area, right? So we go back up to the top. Text area is reply right here, reply text. That's taken care of. And we go back down here, and then the user has to be also passed in, right? So that's going to be probably a hidden input. So it's probably already in here. It is not. So let's find it. So in the room template, we have a hidden value right here, topic user. So that's what that's for. So we want to create a hidden input right here. And reply user is what we want. Now we need to make sure that this even works, right? So if we reload the page and we view the source, there should be an input tag above the text area. Oh geez, let's just do it this way. Right here. And notice how it already has my user ID in there. That's because I'm logged in. You see right here, Steph Curry, I'm logged in. So the user ID is already in there. And the ID attribute is reply user. So you want to be considerate of that on the jQuery code at the bottom. So down here, you want to make sure it says reply user, right? And then that's taken care of. And then every reply pertains to a specific topic, right? So really what you want to do here is, instead of embedding a room attribute, that doesn't make any sense, we want to embed the topic attribute, which is really the current topic, and then the current topic, let's just go with that for now, current topic. And I think topics have image keys, I think. Let me just double check that. So if I were open the source down here, here is the topic, and no image keys. All right, so we can just ignore that. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and that should be good enough for that. So now when I hit the button, we want to do submit reply, and then for now we're just going to console log the reply, and that's it. We can also just do an early return here. We don't have to comment out the code. It'll just block all the following code. So that's another way we can handle that. So let's go ahead and test this guy out and reload the page. Okay, sure, why not? Submit reply, and here we are. So here's the text, the user, which is the ID, and then the JSON embedded topic object, which is currently reflecting the current topic, which is great. So that now we can go ahead and submit it. So let's get rid of that return, and we want to do API reply and pass in the reply data, right? And then there is no render rows or any of this stuff, so all this code will crash right here. And then let's do a console log, and then reply submitted. Response. Okay, that should work. I'm gonna get rid of this guy, and let's see what happens. Sure, why not? Why not? Reply submitted. Schema is reply. That's the date and ID number, text, user ID, which by the way corresponds to the entire user JSON. You see that? So that's because in the post controller we fetched the user and then embedded the JSON into the data before creating it, and then saying the topic, this happened client side. So actually this right here is going to be funky. You see how it returns as a string? So if I go to the local host API topic, look at the difference between the user, the room. Oh, it made it JSON anyway. Let's see. Yeah, there's a bit of a problem here that's hard to catch. Look at this user key, which returns a pure user JSON object. But look at the topic key. It returns a stringified JSON. That's a problem. That's not going to be good because it's inconsistent data type. So really what we want to do is on the back end, we want to convert this topic key to a JSON object. So back here, what we want to do is check the body. So if body topic is not null, and then we want to do a try catch block here. Catch. And then body, we want to reassign it to JSON parse body topic like that. But if there is an error, that means it's invalid JSON. Some of the data is somehow corrupt. So what we want to do is just get rid of the key altogether because it's really not going to be good to keep it around. And that'll take care of this issue down here. So now if I create, I'm going to open a new window altogether, right? And then create another, I think, So I still see jobs for Java positions. Okay, try that. Now look at the topic. It returns as valid, just regular JSON, as opposed to this down here where it's stringified JSON. It's a big difference, and it's an inconsistency in your data type. So you don't want that to happen. So we just fixed that problem over here by doing all that. That's why I did that. So you want to be sure that you're covering that issue. So if I go to my actual Turbo backend and hit the data store, hit the data store and check out my replies. I'm going to have two different data types on topic. The earlier one is the one we don't want. So really we're just going to get rid of both of these, right? So, but here we want to get rid of this because that was the one where the JSON is malformed. It's just a big string. We don't want that. So we want this type instead. So now when I well, it doesn't matter, we're not running these anyway yet. So okay, so now what we've done so far is we've successfully created a reply to a topic. And now in that's going to be it for this video, but in the next video we're going to render those replies on this template that we set up right here. Down here it's going to show the image of the user, and really that's it. So maybe the date, I don't know. Yeah, so or like a score, whatever else you want to use really. It's gonna do all that. So that will be in the next video, is taking the replies and rendering them down here, and this will show the number of replies. So that's it. This is getting closer and closer to completion. Once we get the replies rendering, we're going to update the UI. Obviously, we want to change the logo and the name, things like that, and get this out of here and get the images showing and things of that sort. And that'll be pretty much the end of this tutorial. So hopefully you're able to follow along. I am moving a little bit faster in this video than previous videos, but that's because it's building off a lot of what we've already been doing, so it shouldn't be all new to you at this point. A lot of what we did in this video is stuff we already did in video 6, 5, and 4, so hopefully it all makes sense. But if not, just catch up to us on Slack, and there's usually a handful of people ready to answer questions over there on Slack, on my Turbo Slack channel. So people are asking questions about tutorials on here all the time. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in video 8.